Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight into it.
It's like it's Minute Maid, hijack 4, renegade, 24, number 8, Kobe shit fade away, ballin' since 11th grade, still in school, let them hate.
One of my greatest strengths, I believe, as a person is my ability to observe. I just be observing the most random things in the most random situations at almost all times. So as I was watching the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals earlier in this month, or actually last month, as someone who is obsessed with the NBA draft and just the entire process and admires it just way too much for his own good, I realized that there were a plethora of Kentucky standouts out there showing out on the court. In guys like Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo, Jamal Murray, and the latest product, Herro. Out of 4 of those guys, all 3 of those guys came from that man Joel Calamari. I mean, not calamari. Wait, that's wrong. Bro, calamari is like actually a fish. My bad. John Calipari. My bad. My stomach was talking right there for a moment and not my mind. But I realized that as of recent, going back at least to the last 4 years, there's been a very interesting pattern and repetition that's been going on that may have been unnoticed to many. A pattern that the majority may have not caught on to yet, until now. I just put in the black screen by accident. My bad. I'm editing while I'm editing a video. See how genius I am? But I just wanted to say, if you're tardy to the party, go ahead and subscribe to my new second channel, Yo Mojo, where I'll be doing damn near daily videos over there, reactions, post-game talks, whatever's on my mind, I'm doing it over there. Go ahead and sub to that channel. Now, black screen as usual. A common pattern that I've seen over the last few years is how often I see Kentucky players drafted later in the lottery rather than towards the top. Kentucky is up there with the best of the best basketball programs in the country. I mean, their basketball history and the results speak for themselves. John Wall, Boogie Cousins, Anthony Davis, De'Aaron Fox, the list goes on and on and on. They produce great players, which isn't really a surprising thing at all. But here's where things take for a turn. There's been a tendency for them over these last few years to recruit and receive and actually be able to attain elite wing talent. Over these last 4 years, to be specific, it all started with that man Jamal Murray, who was the 7th overall pick back in the 2015 NBA draft. Whoa, I just realized that I said 2015, my bad, 2016. Now Jamal really doesn't fit the stereotype of this video and the theme that I'm trying to go towards. Ever since the 2016 NBA draft, 99% of the Kentucky guards who have been selected out of the draft have been viewed as somewhat steals. The following year of 2017, many thought that that man De'Aaron Fox was no better than the 3rd best point guard in this class. And come to find out 3 years later, we all know that that was very far from the truth. He's been running laps around Fultz and Zoe throughout his entire career. There's no such thing as catching up. I believe it'll be set in stone soon that he will be the best throughout his entire career. In the very next draft class, here we go. Wait, 2018? Oh my god. He doesn't really make my argument really that good at all. I mean, just look at his draft day outfit. Like, come on, man. I should have known that he wasn't going to be good in the NBA after he wore that. Ugh. But let's just pretend like he doesn't exist. Because I ain't gonna lie, I kind of feel like he already doesn't in the NBA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another great guard who was mainly doubted going into his NBA career because of his lack of athleticism, burst and speed, and non-existent first step. He was always viewed as the 3rd best point guard in the draft too, and that will forever be behind Trae Young and Colin Sexton. But that may not be the truth no more. He's turned out to be, in fact, a top 3 point guard out of his class, but here's the thing, he's not number 3 anymore, and he's not number 1. That man is number 2 now. Now, I'm not over here bashing Colin Sexton. I still think Colin Sexton's a very good player, but right now we're focused on them Kentucky boys. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, in my mind, I'd rather have him over Colin Sexton. Y'all can debate that as long as you want in the comment section down below. But for me personally, I believe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is way better than what he was perceived to be going into college or coming into the NBA. His all-around length, versatility, and all the capabilities that he has on the court was not seen or viewed as a true advantage coming out of his class. And I don't know why, but this just seems to be a common trait and theme for a lot of these Kentucky guards coming out of the class. But within just a year or 2 years later into these guys' NBA careers, a lot of NBA scouts are sitting there stooped and proven wrong. Why is that? Why do they continue to do that? Why did Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, aka one of the brightest up-and-coming young guards out of the NBA draft, get stooped down low, just like a Jamal Murray, just like a De'Aaron Fox, just like a Devin Booker, who I didn't even get into, by the way. That man right there, oh my gosh, he was getting so much praise from so many other NBA players, star NBA players in the league at the time. Guys like Andre Iguodala and Kevin Durant. KD actually wanted that man on his team. As you all know, OKC really didn't get a chance to select him. But I believe a team like OKC, if they would have known what was to come in the future, that they possibly would have traded up and would have selected that man Devin Booker. Now, he wasn't viewed and seen as a potential star-studded shooting guard because of Kentucky, his school. It's a continuous pattern that happens for 90% of these guards over these last few years. That's what I keep on getting into. Inside the NBA, I mean, people knew because of the type of things that Devin Booker did back in school, back in all types of camps, and also in the AAU. Devin Booker was that dude, but once he got into school, it seemed like a lot of his skills and talents were neutralized, and also it felt like he was in handcuffs. All everybody saw in that light-skinned kid was that he can shoot. He's a shooter. He's really good at shooting, but no one saw the ability for him to create his own shot at an extraordinary level and be able to create for his teammates as well at a high level and hit super clutch and tough shots and be such a tough-minded player. Nobody saw that, and this was just a surprise for everyone going into his second, third, fourth year in his NBA career, and now he's became the star and also one of the top shooting yards in the NBA. And now this leads me to the rookie that the entire NBA has had their eyes on over these last 3 weeks, that man Tyler Herro. He was in the exact same situation as guys like Devin Booker. A lot of people actually compare him to Devin Booker. They had such similar roles back when they went to Kentucky. They're both similar as hell in almost every single way of their game. And I wouldn't be that surprised if I saw that man Tyler Herro eventually build up his game to a level such as Devin Booker, or around that level in general. Tyler Herro is a shot creator. Tyler Herro is a good passer. Tyler Herro is a walking bucket, just like Devin Booker, but a walking bucket that was not wet. This is gonna sound kind of wrong, but let me just abandon that whole analogy as a whole, because I got some pretty sus people watching my channel right now. You know who I'm talking about. I just thought of a new analogy. Tyler Herro is a bucket with a handle. So not all buckets have handles, we all know that, but this bucket right here had a handle, but a team like Kentucky didn't use the handle and just had him placed up on the table just like that. And a team like the Miami Heat picked up this bucket, took it home, and was like, oh my god, this bucket actually comes with the handle. Whoa, this bucket is way more versatile and useful than we all thought. All of these Kentucky players fall in the same category in some sense, at least over these last 4 years. They're all been viewed as underrated. This right here is super scary, and this pattern cannot go long any longer, I must say. If it was to go long any longer, then bro, someone gotta be arrested. A crime has been committed, and there's constant robberies and thefts going on in the NBA draft these last few years, and possibly maybe even this year. And this has pointed all this Kentucky attention, all this Kentucky traction has pointed all my attention to that man Tyrese Maxey. Now personally, I wasn't necessarily high on Tyrese Maxey, but I wasn't low on him either. I just thought he was an okay, cool prospect. I had him, as usual, like all Kentucky players over these last few years, towards the end of the lottery. See, I wasn't woke. I wasn't woke at all. I was kind of asleep on him. But now I have been awakening. I see the characteristics, and I'm higher on Tyrese Maxey. Because now that I think about it, just like Devin Booker, he was a ball handler pre-Kentucky, but once he got into Kentucky, he wasn't allowed to handle the ball as much, and coach had him playing in a completely different role, a role that he wasn't really comfortable and used to. He was playing one way his whole entire life, and now he has to adjust to a whole completely new world while also playing a whole new way. That's tough. This is a trend over these last few years that needs to come to a stop eventually. So I look at Tyrese Maxey, I see the type of stuff that he did in high school, the type of stuff that he did in AAU, and I compare it to what he's doing or what he did when the college season was actually ongoing. And I see Tyrese Maxey way more than just a 13th, 12th, 10th, 11th overall pick. And now I believe that Tyrese Maxey could very well easily finish at top 4, maybe even top 3 NBA talent when it's all said and done in his career. Now, I'm willing to take that shot not only because of the logic that I applied and how he played pre-Kentucky, but I'm also maybe even being a bit superstitious. I don't know, but I'm just following repetition and the pattern, and I'm calling it out. Tyrese Maxey could very well be in a super similar situation as Tyler Herro and Devin Booker. Devin Booker, when he was drafted by the Phoenix Suns weren't actually that bad at all, and so weren't the Miami Heat. And now Tyrese Maxey is seen in most mock drafts as one of the later lottery picks going to teams like the San Antonio Spurs, the New Orleans Pelicans, and maybe even the Boston Celtics if they get lucky, which I highly doubt that would happen. But him, Tyrese Maxey, he screams of a great shining prospect. His attitude, his skills, his shooting ability. Now look, I know when you look at his when you look at his stats, he shot like 29-30% from the 3-point line, and his efficiency just really wasn't that great. But you have to realize that he did something that he never really done before. I like Tyrese Maxey, but I think his potential may be limited in some ways, mainly because of how much separation he's able to gain from his defenders. He's not like Devin Booker in a sense when it comes to that, and he's not like Tyler Herro in a sense. He's not a walking bucket, but he is for sure a bucket I believe, who could be found later in the NBA draft by complete accident. And once he's asked to put the ball in his hands, just like a Tyler Herro, just like a Devin Booker, and yeah, just like those two, he's going to produce very well, and he's going to give out plenty of buckets once he gets drafted. Hopefully, here's my message to NBA teams, if any NBA teams are watching. Why would you be watching me? I don't really know, but here's my message. Don't let Tyrese Maxey go no later than the 7th overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft. After 7, 8, someone please take him. If you don't take him, you're gonna look like a fool, because I honestly believe I can see him being a better player than guys like Tyrese Maxey, or maybe even a Killian Hayes. Even though I'm high on Killian Hayes, I wouldn't be surprised if he was better than him at all. And maybe even at his peak, if someone like Anthony Edwards reaches his peak, he can be on the same level as Anthony Edwards, to be honest. It would not be surprised at all. He just has that type of skill set, and he's that type of scorer, I believe. Regardless of what the statistics say, he is a good 3-point shooter. He has a good floater game, and also he's super tough. Maybe not tough, but he tries really hard on the defensive end, and I would label him as a pretty good defender. He's not a liability by no means at all. And I believe a team like maybe the Detroit Pistons should take a guard like Tyrese Maxey, who has loads of potential, instead of trying to work on a project who's seen as a lot of potential on like an Isaac Okoro, for example. I don't really, that man he's iffy. I like Tyrese Maxey way better because he's something ready now, and he's a proven, not a proven scorer, but he's a proven bucket, I believe. So don't let these NBA scouts or whatever, you know, fool you into believing that Tyrese Maxey isn't that dude, because he is that guy. These Kentucky dudes tend to be pushed back further in the NBA draft lottery, and I just don't want to see this, you know, this pattern continuously replicated. This may be, you know, my newest theory. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video, but this is pretty much the end of this video, man. If you realize, I kind of switched things up, and I recorded this video mostly off of the dome, and I think I kind of like this. Me doing this, let me know if you guys like it, but me doing this can literally make my workload so much easier on me. I feel like I did a good job, but this is the end of the video though, man. I really do appreciate you for coming over here and watching me talk about basketball off of the dome Mojo, which is a new thing now. But I appreciate you for coming here watching me. Once again, it means a lot. I hope you really make sure you make your day great, and I hope you subscribe to the Mojo channel. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, do all that great stuff, and make sure that you make your day great and have a really productive day. Until then, I'll get right with you.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made the shirt, free the way, told my girl who'd ever thought.